It's Thomas here, and today we're going to be checking out Neptune Systems DDR or Dose Dual Reservoir. This is a perfect add-on for those reefers who like to set and forget just about everything they can. Emphasis on forget, because if you're like me and you tend to forget really important things you're supposed to be checking up on, like how much calcium and alkalinity additive you have left in your reservoir that's stuck under your stand, this is going to save you from getting caught with 0 additives left and scrambling to try to go out and get more so you can fill up the reservoirs again before the levels in your tank start to tank. Dosing containers aren't a necessity, but us reefers do love them. They're a great way to conveniently store our liquid additives in larger volumes for our dosing pumps, and generally look and function a lot better than a manufacturer's bottle or a hastily assembled DIY container. The only real issue I've ever had with dosing containers is that they tend to be stored somewhere out of sight, like under your aquarium stand or in a cabinet near the tank. And unless I go out of my way to check on them, they can easily run out without me noticing, which, yes, is certainly a failure on my part, and I should definitely work on that, but it's also kind of just the nature of something being out of sight and out of mind. Neptune Systems has an awesome solution to that conundrum with their DDR or Dose Dual Reservoir. You get a slick acrylic reservoir that has nicely polished edges, complete with lids and push fittings, and the convenience and redundancy of knowing you need more liquid before they go empty, even if they're tucked away under your aquarium stand where you're liable to forget they ever existed. Plus, they're super easy to set up and plug right into your Neptune Systems dose pump with a single cable. In the box, you'll find the dual dose reservoir with the sensors, cable, and lids pre-installed, 4 meters of tubing, a quick start guide, and a snazzy little sticker for repping that Neptune Systems pride. The DDR is right around 10.5 by 8.5 by 5.5 inches, and each of the cylinders holds 2 liters of liquid for a total capacity of 4 liters, which should allow for enough 2-part to last the average reefer around 1 month between refills. The openings on the top of each container is just shy of 3 3/4 of an inch, and plenty of space for easy refilling, even without removing the DDR from under your stand, but I'm sure I'll find a way to make a mess anyhow, so for reefers like me who are likely to remove it from their stand to refill it anyways, the push fittings on the top for connecting the dosing tubing and the single 6-pin connector cable are a welcome touch that make removing it fast and easy if there isn't enough slack in the lines and cable. Each container also has its own rigid straw already installed, along with a nicely fitting lid and, of course, the optical sensors with built-in brackets right around the 15% mark, with cleanly routed channels for the cables to exit neatly from under those lids. When it comes to setup, the DDR is super simple. The cord plugs directly into the 6-pin port on the side of the Neptune Systems dose, and then you can just drag and drop the tile onto your dashboard in Fusion. The tile will tell you roughly how much liquid is left in each container at a quick glance, so you don't need to crawl under the stand with a flashlight to see how much liquid is left in the reservoir, and it can send you notifications when the liquid reaches the optical sensors inside of each of the containers, so you know that you'll need to top them up well before you run out and you don't end up caught unawares and in a mad scramble to try to find yourself some more 2-part or aminos or trace elements or whatever you're dosing. The DDR also has markings on the side of each container so you can get a rough idea of how much liquid is left or how much liquid you've added, which comes in handy when you're refilling them, so you can accurately estimate how much liquid is in the container and then adjust the volume in Fusion by clicking on the gear icon beside the DDR tile. If you refill the containers back to the very top, you can just click the fill button, but if you added an odd amount of liquid back, you can also adjust each amount in milliliters as well. You can fill up your DDR with just about any coral food or additive out there, whether you want to dose 2-part like BRS Pharma, or 1-part like Tropic Marin Alpha Reef, or liquid coral foods, or nitrate or phosphate supplements. However, you do want to avoid any sort of additive that could act like a solvent, since that would damage the acrylic. Those could be things like alcohol-based carbon dosing additives or nitrate and phosphate reducers like Nopox. Maintenance for the DDR is really straightforward. Once in a while, it's a good idea to go in and clean the optical sensor inside at the bottom. Just make sure it has no debris or film built up on it from whatever liquids you're storing inside the container. That way it can continue to read the liquid level and send you notifications when it gets too low. So if you're rocking the Neptune Systems dose and the idea of having a simple and attractive smart reservoir that helps you neatly and conveniently store your additives while also making sure you don't forget to top them up matches your reefing mantra, you can go ahead and pick one up for yourself by clicking right here.